Welcome back, everybody. All right, so this is part two of the little mini series that I'm doing on the yard. So what we're going to do today to start with is we're going to pick up here with the main line. Got the sectional track that I needed to have cut down. Just need to put the joiners on that. And then I've got my left hand turnout, which will basically run into the diverging route. And then, of course, the main route will go around the layout, and that will make me give me my continuous run that I've been wanting. So work on that. We'll get this all laid, and then I'll come back and I went ahead and pulled this one up from the last video just because I wasn't really happy with the angle. So I'm going to have that relayed. So I'll cover that real quick in the video as well. And we'll end up laying 4 turnouts in this section, including one of the left-hand turnouts that goes into the actual yard. So other than that, still waiting on the rest of the turnouts to come in. Hopefully they'll be in by Thursday or Friday of this week. But all right, let's get started.
Definitely not my finest moment, but hey, hopefully you guys will get a laugh out of this. I know I didn't. I cried for about an hour, but hey, the show must go on. So anyway, as you can see, still sitting in the main line, set the turnout in, and got it all taped up. Now I'm working on the second right-hand turnout. That'll run into the yard ladder. Putting my tape down, making sure everything is straight. Now I'm working on my left-hand turnout, which will run into the diverging route, or I'm sorry, the arrival and departure, and the diverging route will run into the main line. And there you go. I'm getting this section of track there for the main line going to the diverging route turnout. A little slow here. Head injury. Yeah, seeing stars. Actually did see stars, though. That was the sad part about it.
All right, as you can see, I got my 2 right-hand turnouts in, and I got my left hand running up to the main line. This line here coming in to for the diversion route, or for the main route, that goes into the arrival and departure track. And then this diverging route here, that'll start off with a left-hand turnout, and that'll go actually into the first yard lead, and it will just kind of ladder down from there. And then this one will be the runaround track here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and connect the arrival and departure track, and then I'm going to connect the first set of yard tracks here. And then I may even go ahead, since I've got enough to do today, or enough track to do what I need to today is what I should say. I may go ahead and do the runaround track, and then I'll run both the inside main and the outside main. Now the outside main was a afterthought after I redid the coal yard area, and so now this is basically a run around, a loop if you will, around the lower level. And that's just basically for Mason, so when I'm out here working on certain things, he can watch the trains run around in a circle. So that's why that's there. This inside main is originally was the single main, and that ran into the reversing section to get up to the second level. So it still works out, and I can get to the reversing section off of this, but I've got to make a complete lap around and then come back in and tie back in that way. So I'd have to be going basically the opposite direction, which isn't a big deal. But you know, I wanted these, each of these now have 2 different purposes for what I wanted. So once I get comfortable with where I'm at with the yard here, I'll go ahead and reconnect the inner main line, and then I'll connect the outer main line. So all right, we'll get started on the arrival and departure track now.
camera angle. Now we're working on the diverging route, splicing that together. And as you can see there, that's where I made my mistake. I wasn't paying attention, and I left a little bit of a curve, slight bend if you will, in the section right before I get to the arrival and departure turnout. But that's okay. I'll live with it. Now I'm working on the first yard turnout. Just getting everything lined up, getting the hole drilled for the switch machine, and using the tape again. At this point, I'm almost out of tape. So you'll see me switch over here to using glue. I'm okay with using the glue on the yard tracks. I'd rather save the tape when it comes in for the curbs and that sort of thing.
Hopefully you guys can kind of see how I do it. You know, there's really no right or wrong way to do these. It's whatever you want to do. It's your railroad, and whatever works for you, you do it your way. I don't really have the size yard I would like. I don't think any of us ever do. And that's okay with this here. I mean, there's be a lot of action here with operations and building and whatnot of the trains. And then on the second level, I plan on having a longer yard. It would be a smaller yard, and it won't be so much like this. It'll be more of a staging tracks than anything. Probably not even arrival and departure, just because the second level is going to be a little bit narrower. So I want to utilize that. So that yard will be different as in operation standpoint. But this, for operational standpoint, this is my main yard. This will be the one that'll get a lot of the action. So wanted to get everything close to perfect for me. So as you can see, went ahead and completed the main line run here, tied that into the arrival and departure track. And all I've got to do is come off that main switch there, and then that'll be my loop around to the main line. I was able to do my arrival and departure track, and I wasn't paying attention. I got off key here a little bit. This isn't as straight as I wanted it to be. Not a big deal. I'll live with it. So, and then of course this is my first staging track here. Then I'll have my second one and my third one, and then believe it or not, I will have a fourth one here. So yeah, these tracks, don't pay any mind to these tracks. They're just in their lane. They're not really in place yet. They're close, but not in place. Of course, I'll have to cut this one back some and then add a little bit to this one. But other than that, once I get my other turnouts in, I'll go ahead and complete that. So that worked out. All of my switchers are in. And I don't know if you guys saw what I did here or not, but I actually put a little filler piece in between these two switches. And that's just because I didn't want to cut the ties or anything around the switch points. So on the next video, what we'll do is part 3. We'll figure out exactly how we're going to run the line going into the engine facility. Probably over in this section here will be the refueling. And then, of course, I'll figure out exactly how I need to come off with my angle bracket there. And then, so the engine facility kind of sit at an angle like this, going out this way. So that's a lot to do. So that probably won't be a part of part 3, only due to the fact that I want to make sure I'm happy with the placement of everything. So that'll probably be just an entirely different update video, probably with a layout update video. And as do want to point out, as you can see, I ended up having to thumbtack some of this stuff down only because I ran out of the tape, and it's going to take about another week and a half before it gets here, just because of with everything going on, it's not a priority. So I'm okay with putting the tape or the glue down here, but I want to wait for the tape for these two curved tracks. That way, if I need to adjust later on, it's a lot easier to pull up and readjust and move on with my business. So anyway, I appreciate you guys and gals watching. Thank you so much.